Both my parents are Holocaust survivors. My dad was born in a small village in Poland, and in 1941, when he was 11 years old, the Nazis came into his village of 2,000 people. Half were Jewish, and they burnt down his house. They torched the town. They killed the rabbi of his town and made everyone walk to a Jewish ghetto. Now thousands and thousands of Jews were living in this slave labor camp working for the Nazis. My dad and his whole family were huddled in one room with very little to eat, and the Nazis would give you certificates if you were a doctor, a nurse, a laborer, somebody that could work for them. But if they found a young kid or an old person, they would send them to this line to die. When my dad was in the ghetto for about 6 months, he got caught and he couldn't get back to his family's hiding place, and he got forced into the marketplace where they were having the selection, and he was in the most horrific scene of his life. He was watching Nazis take little babies out of mothers' arms, kill them with bayonets, throw them like footballs, shoot people randomly, yelling and screaming and shoving. And he noticed all the young kids and old people without these certificates going to the pit to die. He realized at 11 years old, the only way he's going to live is if he starts asking people with these certificate holders to pretend that he's their son. So he goes to people that he knows from his village, but they're all afraid of their lives and their kids. It's a real risk. They're saying no, and he starts asking people that he never met before, will you take me? Will you take me? No, no, no. Right before he gets to the top of the line, there's a beautiful woman with a nursing certificate with 2 little girls, her daughters. She's never met him before. She looked at him and she said, if they're gonna let me live with my 2 young girls, they'll let me live with 3. Hold my hand. So he holds this woman's hand on one side, her daughters are on the other side, and they get to the top of the line, and the Nazi starts looking at her papers. They shove him to the line to live, and she saves his life. He never sees this woman after that again. His mother, 2 brothers and a sister got killed. Miraculously, he escaped into the woods and found his father and 1 brother and lived in the woods for over 2 years to survive through starvation, disease, 25 degrees below zero in caves, came out like a skeleton, but he got lucky enough to get sponsored by a distant relative to come to Brooklyn, New York. So he comes to this great country, 17 years old, no money, hardly speaks English, and starts studying to become a teacher and a rabbi. Now he's 23 years old, and he goes to a wedding of some survivors of his town, and he's sitting at this wedding table, and there's a beautiful girl at the table telling everybody a story about friends of hers from Hartford, Connecticut, that saved a little boy from our town in a selection line. He's sitting at this table and he cries out, I'm that boy, where are these people? 3 weeks later, he goes to Hartford to meet that nurse that saved his life and ended up marrying my mother, who was the 7-year-old girl, her daughter, in that selection line. That's why I believe that anything's possible in life. You never ever give up. And when we have a chance to bring our humanity to the moment and help others, we do it.